UFC 304 is now in the rearview mirror, so what are some of the fights that we should see coming off of it? Let's begin in the welterweight division with the new welterweight king. He is Bilal Muhammad. He does not get long to enjoy the throne, as my next opponent for him is Shavkat Rakhmonov. Rakhmonov is so clearly the number one contender for this right now. Usman is technically still ranked ahead of him, but this is Shavkat's time. And I don't think that Leon Edwards gets an immediate rematch coming out of this. It wasn't a, like, I think the world of Leon Edwards, do not get me wrong. It is not a lengthy enough nor dominant enough title reign to just get that immediate rematch. To me, the immediate rematches are for closely contested fights, which that wasn't, and for dominant lengthy title reigns, which that wasn't. It was fine. But it was not a, well, this guy needs to get another opportunity, and he certainly doesn't need to get one over Shavkat, who has been absolutely dominant and is the clear next contender for this belt. So what does that mean for Leon Edwards? Well, it means that Leon Edwards, I think, gets the winner of Gilbert Burns against Sean Brady. Those are still two highly ranked fighters in the welterweight division, but they are two fighters who haven't necessarily had things click for them lately. Brady coming off of a loss to Bilal Muhammad. He did pick up a win after that and still looks really, really good. And so I guess he could make a bit of a case that he could be in line for a title shot if he were to beat Gilbert Burns. If Burns gets that win, I still think he needs one or two victories before he moves into that upper echelon there at 170 pounds. And I think Leon Edwards is a good fight for that. Moving into the heavyweight division, and Tom Aspinall with another dominant performance to retain the interim heavyweight championship. Up next for him, I have Cyril Gane. Gane is just one fight removed from an absolutely putrid showing against John Jones. But there's kind of no one left. If we're not going to do the John Jones fight, if we are not going to do the Pereira fight, this is the fight that is the next one to make, I think, for Tom Aspinall. Cyril Gane is an incredibly talented fighter, and I think would present an interesting challenge for Tom Aspinall, but not one that I don't think Aspinall could overcome. Curtis Blades, I have him going up against Jailton Almeida. It's a rematch from their bout. I believe it was UFC 299. Almeida was doing really well, and then he shoots for a takedown and kind of slips. It looked like maybe he had got dropped and went down on that, and then just a bunch of absolute elbows puts a close to the show on that one. Not taking anything away from Blades' victory in that bout, but I do believe that you either reestablish Blades as a challenger in the heavyweight division with that win, or you rocket Almeida into the title picture in the heavyweight division with a victory there. So I think it is a really good bit of matchmaking, if I do say so myself, to put that one together. Paddy Pimblett called for it, so let's give it to him. Renato Moicano. And I think you give him Moicano regardless of how Benoit Saint Denis does against him coming up in a few weeks' time. And I don't want to give Paddy Pimblett the winner of Benoit Saint Denis and Renato Moicano, because I do think that BSD is actually a little bit more advanced than that right now. No shot at Moicano. This is definitely a bit of a giveaway as to who I think is going to win that fight. I just think BSD, if he comes away with that win, he is going to have higher hopes in that division. I think you do this anyway. There's been some talk of making them the Ultimate Fighter coaches. I would have no problem with that. I think it would be an interesting fight to see where Paddy Pimblett is now in this division. A couple other ones to watch for. Gregory Rodriguez against Chao Borralho. Chao will probably be wanting a bigger name coming off of his Alan Craig fight, but this is, I think Rodriguez now needs a step up in the top 15, and kind of everyone in the bottom third of that top 15 is accounted for right now. And so this does kind of feel like maybe killing off a prospect either way, but I do think that it is a test that Rodriguez deserves, and I do also believe that it is an interesting test for Borralho as he continues to work his way up at 185 pounds. And then lastly, Arnold Allen. I think his jump in the rankings is a little much, and so like if he looks at the rankings, he is going to see Calvin Kattar in his rearview mirror, and I think Allen is kind of like, hey, I'm not going that way. Why am I going? Why am I going back there? It's a rematch from a fight that ended with an injury, and I do think that rocket has been kind of shot up for Allen, maybe a little bit too much, coming off of what was a good performance against Giga Chikadze. But I do think that this is a nice next stop for Allen to really see if he is a true contender at in this division. And so I think it's an interesting step up for him.